This is Tim and Miriam's 450 square feet apartment in Vancouver. Besides their regular functions, this kitchen, living, and dining spaces serve as a home office, guest bedroom, and the main living area for their 2 cats. Living in a small apartment is not always easy, especially if the space is used for multiple purposes like this one. That's why in this video I'm gonna show you my process of redesigning the living and dining areas of their apartment to make it more functional and inviting using Coohom's online tool. So let's take a look at their current layout and go over their wish list for the space. I can see that they have a pretty large cat tree in this corner of the room behind the sofa, making this area pretty much unusable except for the cats. On the opposite side there's a TV and a Kallax media unit that houses their record player and all of their records, being a very musical couple as they are. Next to it there's a bar cart, because Miriam really likes to make drinks for friends when they come over. And integrated with the space there's a kitchen and dining area. I can see that the kitchen is pretty modern and clean, but lacks countertop space. There's just a little corner here to prepare meals. And there's also an extendable dining table that serves as the main spot to hang out with friends and play games. They think this space could be optimized and shared with me some of the things that would make their lives easier. They would love a dedicated office space, since Tim works from home every day and currently uses the dining table as his workstation. It would be nice to have more work surfaces in the kitchen to make cooking more functional. The cats need to have a rich environment to move around. The apartment receives a lot of direct sunlight, which makes it very warm in the summer, so having something to block it is essential. And all improvements have to be renter-friendly. All of this taking into account that they try to keep their home as minimalist as possible. They tend to prefer darker tones and avoid lots of color. So after getting the measurements and the floor plan, I created the 3D representation of their apartment in Coohom, which is a very interesting online tool that allows the creation of floor plans and elaborate designs. I'll leave the link in the description if you'd like to check it out. The first step is drawing the floor plan. Then I moved to the 3D view and added models for the furniture pieces, which I was able to find in Coohom's product library. After some time, I was able to achieve a pretty accurate representation of their current layout to use as a starting point for the design. After seeing the space in 3D, it became clear that it could be optimized. Starting with the kitchen and dining area, the position of the table and chairs seemed right to me, but I started to think of ways to amplify work surface. The first thing that came to my mind was to add a small movable island that could maybe be attached to a small dining table. But I quickly realized this would occupy way too much space and compromise the clearance between table and countertops, which is very important for a kitchen not to feel cramped. Then, after browsing for some inspiration, I thought a countertop table would be the perfect solution. This kind of table has the same height of standard kitchen countertops, so it can be perfectly used to prepare food while standing. Besides, it's still a table, so 2 stools can be used on this side for their day-to-day dining, while an additional pair can sit below the opposite side of the table, which serves as a countertop on most days, but also accommodates guests when they come over. I found this one on Wayfair that would perfectly fit the space. With the kitchen and dining sorted out, I moved to the living area. Removing all the furniture reveals a pretty ample space, so to make good use of it, I think switching the sofa and TV positions would be beneficial for this layout if we find another solution for the cat tree. But simply putting the TV on this side of the room makes it look weird, since the sliding door that conceals the bedroom is completely exposed. To fix that, I decided to add a wooden panel wall right in front of the door, a look that can be easily achieved with modular panels such as this one. The decision to cover most of the sliding doors comes from the fact that the couple really never fully opens it, serving as a wall. So leaving an opening for one side of the door to slide, the wooden panels add character to the room while serving as a backdrop for their TV and media unit, which I chose to keep for this project. The next logical step was to place a sofa close to the opposite wall. But I felt the space in between was too large, making the living room feel too long and narrow. So instead, I added a shelf to the wall and placed the sofa right in front of it. But if the budget allows, custom cabinetry could be added here, creating a proper storage unit. Either way, this gap can be used to store all sorts of items that are not frequently used. With this configuration, the living room feels cozier and more cohesive, while the shelf can be used to place decor items and lighting. I chose a new, more structured sofa bed for this space, since it's a very important item for a living room. This one from IKEA fits perfectly and acts as a full double bed when extended, so they can comfortably host guests. To complement this area, I added a round coffee table and an orange ottoman for a splash of color. Last but not least, as a solution for the cats, I added a set of cat shelves to the wall behind the sofa that are great for them to move around and still creates visual interest to the room. This left a considerable gap between the kitchen and the sofa where the bar currently is. But this space could be better used to place a desk and make a proper home office for Tim. I found this one on Wayfair that would be a good fit, but a custom-made table would look even better, integrated to the storage unit behind the sofa. By choosing a chair that is comfortable but doesn't have that classic office look, this area can be perfectly integrated into this room, while still feeling separated from the kitchen by wood slats that extend from floor to ceiling. Since I used this space for the desk, I moved the bar area to this wall, that's currently empty. Using a narrow cabinet or shelving unit to display bottles, glasses, and everything else occupies and decorates this wall, while still leaving enough room for circulation. Some examples of items that could be used here are this IKEA cabinet or this shelving unit from Article. To bring this whole room to life, I added some feature lamps to the living room and a nice task wall light for the office, as well as some art pieces and decor items. White floor-to-ceiling curtains were also added to bring more texture and reduce direct sunlight, as they asked. I was very happy with the results, but I thought the room could look even better if the doors and kitchen cabinets were darker, which creates an interesting contrast to the white walls. To achieve this look in a renter-friendly way, we can use vinyl wrap or peel and stick wallpaper that can be easily removed when needed. To give the kitchen a moody feel, I also added dark peel and stick tiles to the backsplash and added LED strips below the wall cabinets. Finally, I was ready to render. I honestly really liked how it turned out, and I think this small space is now more functional and comfortable for Tim, Miriam, and their 2 cats. By choosing the right size furniture and using some renter-friendly hacks, the room was completely transformed without even painting the walls. Even though most furniture pieces in the kitchen are dark, the room still feels light and open because of the white walls and ceiling, and light rugs used. During the day, sunlight illuminates the space, while at night, all the lighting fixtures and lamps create a cozy and inviting ambiance. Tim got his office space, the cats got a fun cat wall, and Miriam has now more space to cook and prepare drinks on the countertop table. This was super fun to do, and I hope you enjoyed watching and that you can use some of these ideas to create your own designs. As you can imagine, this whole process took a long time. So I'd really appreciate it if you could leave a like and consider subscribing to the channel. I plan to share more makeovers like this one and other decoration related content such as this one right here. I also make home tour videos like this one. Thank you so much for watching. See you next time.